Hi, everyone. My name is Alexia Nevitt, and this is about social and emotional development and how it affects the brain in young children. So, a little bit about social and emotional development. This is when children start to understand who they are, what they are feeling, and how to interact with others. So, a little about who they are. So, social emotional development starts before you are even born. You're in your womb. You're feeding all this information from the mother. So, I was reading everything that the parent feels, which is if they are sad, if they are depressed, if they are super happy. The child is gathering all of that information and is feeling all of that. Um, so, as they are infants, they are discovering who they are. Um, and this is a time where they're discovering their feet, they're discovering their hands, they're watching around them, they're developing the relationships between their mom and their dad. Um, and these are very crucial because it's their first little look about this big world. Um, and then they kind of discover about what they are feeling. And this is they're acting upon those emotions, and they're also understanding, like, okay, I'm feeling this way. And then finally, when they interact with others, they're learning how to communicate. They're learning about how others are feeling and how to understand how to act when those feelings occur. Um, and also developing interaction or developing relationships and understanding how to communicate with others that they do not know, or strangers, or parents, other parents, teachers, peers, friends, and then finally understanding how to deal with a romantic relationship. So, the areas of the brain. So, the frontal lobe is all based on, or is in charge of, like, the planning and thinking, your emotions, your personality. And the front of the brain does not mature until around age 25. Um, and it is the last part of your brain to mature. So the main parts of it, or like the beginning parts of it, the most important parts are from 0 to 8. Oh my God, age 8. And during this time is why I'm focusing on just the younger age, because that part is just so important of the brain, or of the interactions and of the experience that the student learns or the child learns. Um, but when things are um, challenged, or when they have an injury, these things of the brain can affect a lot of the person involved. So these damages are lower scores in language, motor skills, thinking, neglect, and that is when the child was not able to gather all the information that is necessary at a young age. There's also autism and a lot of other disorders that play along with this. Also, if you affect the brain, if you affect the frontal lobe, you also can have fine motor, gross motor, a lot of other effects as well. Um, And a lot of your communication is based off the frontal lobe. So that's why you'll have lower scores in language, motor skills, and thinking. And then a big one is neglect. And this is because when children are neglected at a very young age, and this is socially, emotionally, physically, they are not gathering all of these skills and experiences that is needed as a young child. And so they simply just do not know how to communicate. They do not know how to go um, around all these obstacles or challenges in life that require you to communicate with others or have a relationship, form a relationship. They just have never seen it before, and they just do not know. Um, Here's a girl, and she has some things to look out for a student that might have that might be neglected. And a lot of these are frontal lobe challenges, and these are they have personality changes, because the frontal lobe is a lot where your personality is formed. Another one is they're uncharacteristic. They have mood swings. Um, they're isolated because they don't know how to form these relationships. They kind of self-neglect, so like they could kind of form risky behavior. This is going back to, like, I think it's one of the first weeks of this class where we talked about how, because of the frontal lobe is not um immatures later than the rest of the brain, that these risky behaviors kind of come out just because it's immature and they're discovering new things. And then finally, they're kind of feeling hopeless and just um, sad, and they just don't know how to navigate all of these experiences and the world around them. So, how this topic impacts learning. So growing up and in school, and this is not even just between 0 and 8 years old, but throughout your whole entire life, you're always listening, observing, touching, building relationship. You're being self-aware, and I kind of put that in there for being self-aware about where you are in the world, and self-aware of uh, your surroundings, especially right now, where the world is, and then eventually start becoming independent, and you figure out, this is what I believe, this is what I think, this is the why I think this, and you kind of are able to find out that you have a place in this world. So how teachers can apply knowledge of this topic to the classroom. My favorite one is for play-based learning, and this is not just having the kids in the classroom playing, but having the teacher kind of guide the play. So as you see in the picture, like the teacher is sitting there, and during this time you can ask questions to challenge them. You can kind of ask questions or help them form where their play is going to a certain area, so they're able to grasp more information. Um, and then another one, as the students get older and in different grades, or in different parts of the year, a lot of the time, like, you can add games, and this could be a Kahoot or other types of internet technology games. That's why I put technology in there too. Those kind of things. Also assignments, and this could be a poster board or an all about me, family tree, like different things for them to kind of understand more about them and more about where they fit um, in their environment. Also doing a lot of like small and group work. So are they able to form connections, form those relationships, communicate with one another, and they can also start seeing where other children stand in situations, and kind of go back and forth and have a controversial um, communication, or not really an argument, but just a talk. And then I feel like where the world is going, technology is also a big thing. You can talk or communicate with many different people around the world. You can communicate and form relationships through technology with your teachers, with other students. Social media is a big one, of just forming those relationships, understanding different things, and expanding the knowledge that you already know. And that is it.